What's going on, gamers? Hopefully everyone's having a great weekend. I definitely am. We got some crazy drama that broke out on Twitter. I got a little bit caught up on this recently, and it was PlayStation adding a 30-day offline timer to new digital games. So at first I'm like, this is weird. You know what I mean? Like let me see how this actually plays out, right? And then it turns out that all these people that were doing all these posts and it blew up. Look at Pirate Nation, 1.7 million views. There's a lot of people that are believing this, right? It went absolutely haywire. And he's coming out saying PlayStation has rolled out DRM on PS4, PS5 digital games requiring online check-in every 30 days. That's pretty nuts if that was going to be true. I was like, there's no way Sony needs to do this. I remember what happened with the Xbox One. It's like, oof, and that was a long time ago. And they actually tried that 24 hours. It's like, oh man. Newly purchased digital games now need to connect to PlayStation Network every 30 days to verify the license. If the console stays offline for more than pretty much a month, the game may stop working until an internet connection is made. Games you already owned before this change are not affected. Crazy stuff, because Sony had tried to patch an exploit. I don't know if people knew about that with the recent update. And that's what that was about. And it seems that this turned out to be a bug. But prior to that, the internet was exploding. As you can see down here in today's news, 30,000 posts already talking about PlayStation adds 30-day offline timer to new digital games, because that would have been seen as majorly anti-consumer. And that would have been a huge deal to the gaming industry. Definitely when you consider PlayStation and Nintendo having the biggest gaming bases on the planet. It's like, yeah, they have like 130 million active monthly or whatever. That's a lot. So it's like, yeah, Sony, I don't know why you would do that. Some people are in situations where that may happen to them. Definitely if they're not in a situation, like over here in America, where most people, you wake up, your stuff's always online. You're going to watch Netflix or anything, you know what I mean? It's like your stuff is always online. You're always making videos, you're always reading news, you are online. But this, from a global standpoint, yeah, it's disastrous. And not everybody has internet like that too. And they might just have the physical copy. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, that just seemed like it would have been catastrophic, because Sony's really going down a really good route at the moment. And for this to pop up, yeah, oh, this would have got farmed to hell, I mean, big time. So this post right here says, we're going to get to certain people too that came out and was like, all of you calm down. Because it's like politics where the hordes are going crazy, and none of this may not be true, but people are jumping the gun massively. Everybody's misinformed. It was a bug. Sony probably should have said something, but it's like, this is the type of stuff that was happening. So the latest update right here says, screenshots show a 30-day valid period countdown on PS4 and PS5 digital games bought since late March 2026. After expiration date, pretty much, offline consoles block launches until users connect online and restore a license. Resetting the timer. Older games remain fully playable offline, and physical disc faced no issue. So if you have physical disc, you would have been fine. No, but the change hits new titles amid community backlash from data miner Lance McDonald, calling it hugely terrible DRM, and rural players like RJ Palmer struggling with spotty internet. Gaming outlets suggest it ties to a March firmware update fixing exploits, though Sony stays silent as calls grow for physical media or boycotts. Boycotts. Sorry. This is what I mean by this. Like, it's stuff like this that can really break out things in a certain way. And I think when it comes to this type of situation, Sony definitely has to handle this very carefully and respond and release a post and let people know what's going on. It appears like it was a bug. And then there's people that are saying that they don't believe so. Like, there was a certain post I ran into earlier, like Pio. I was like, all right, let me save this, because we're going to come back to this later, right? And like, if you go to his page, which we're going to get to here in a second, he says some horrible updates from PlayStation about DRM. Before this update, your digital PS4, PS5 games were permanent, play offline forever, basically like Nintendo has it. Now, new purchases only, they added a 30-day timer. Now, if you go over to his page, he does an update here, and a lot of people are doing the same thing. There's tons of people that went and deleted their posts. Update on the DRM PlayStation issue that was found earlier today. Seems to be a bug, not an actual implementation. Sony might have accidentally broke license display while patching an exploit. Sony has not made pretty much an official post on this, but they should have better communication here. And I'm pretty sure they know about it now, and they're probably preparing something, because other than that, it's like, it has to happen. So Oliver says, I will receive $1 every time you flip out prematurely, then I would have $3 and a Lamborghini. And then this guy's an Xbox guy. They've done more than that. He wants to try to post something to make it seem like it's true, but it's like, we already just found out that it's pretty much a bug. Sony hasn't said anything because they rolled the patch out too early. People just overreact way too fast. I seen that post, then checked all my games, and then bought a game and checked that one also. That bug must have been just for some users because none of my games was like that. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You can go check this out yourself. I don't think it's happening to anybody right now. It may have been some like temporary bug, and I think what they were doing is getting busy fixing it before saying anything and then seeing how things go over time. Then they're probably going to come out and say something. David still says Sony was probably just testing the waters to see how much of a backlash they get. I'm not sure, you know. And then MJK says, hopefully it's a bug and they're just not testing the waters, which is why it's great to have people like you speak out about it. Tom also said the same thing, which where it gets interesting. And then there was some console warring stuff going on because a lot of people were saying they jumped the gun and were happy to see Sony do something like that so that they could feel better about what's going on in the Xbox world or on some other platform in the PC world. You know how this works on the internet when it comes to that. Anything to start something up like that, it's going to be some farm wars or engagement wars when it comes to posts. Left if you have a Twitter checkmark account. So this guy says, I'll bookmark your posts just in case of an update. That's one specific niche bug. So yeah, this was going on in PO's page. If we go over to Tom, who I went over to, Tom is basically saying the same thing, right? You go down, he says, this is probably just a bug. And Tom said this 4 hours ago because he had the idea that it practically was. And then Sean K, the King, shout out to him. Cool dude, by the way, games a lot. Says it is because everyone is pretty much spreading false information. This is not real. Yeah, I think when it comes to something like that, Sony's going to make it known in official posts. This wouldn't have accidentally popped up to just slap you in the face and say you're hit with this automatically out of nowhere. This is where I added my deduction skills, and I'm like, no. This is something that Sony says, sorry, we got a following change upcoming. Are you ready for this post? We're going to be doing this and doing that. It's like, you let somebody know that, right? And then it's about to come out. Then the rage really happens because Sony has made an official post about it. This is where I say that I can practically agree with Tom, with what Sean's saying, and now with other people updating their posts realizing that. But there are some people that do want to jump that gun, but I don't think they were thinking like that in a way. You can't sneak this underneath nobody. That's the worst way to do something. That would have been more anti-consumer on top of that anti-consumer move. It's like, that's not something you want to sneak. No, you have to say update regarding official change. You know what I mean? Here's a click, link here, go here. We're going to be adding in this thing. Like, that's something you officially have to announce. You don't just sneak that in. So that's why I feel like things should get shut down, because if you think like that, then it basically deducts it. Tim says it's a pretty bad bug, though. It's really hard to take Lance too seriously because he gets very emotional. Yeah, I don't think he was thinking about what I just said. And Tom like, yeah, it's a bad bug, but these things do happen. Yeah, they do. Ben says, free trial future, I'm thinking that's bugged. A lot of people are agreeing. Even if it was a bug, Tom, why does a so-called bug designed to take away license until you renew online access exist in the first place? Extremely sus. I mean, I can understand why you're thinking about that. Like, if they want to try something dexterously manipulative behind the scenes without letting you know. But I don't know, man. Like, we can't really confirm that. Possibly pushing a wrong permissions conference to live user accounts, which could easily happen if they dropped in new stuff or changed something on their back end. It's now making lunatics on X think it's doomsday hilarious. Yeah, you're going to have that type of stuff happen. It's just the way things work, you know. This is a cover for them to be checking consoles because those keys are in the wild. So we're seeing a lot of projections come in. But until Sony comes out and says what they want to do, unless you somehow know that they tried something malicious secretly and they're never going to tell you, right? You know what I mean? That's a low percentage. But yeah, everybody has their point of views. But my point of view, like I was saying, is that if you really want to do something like this, you're going to let people know. But that's going to be something official. And I don't think you're going to just backtrack real quick and put yourself in that situation. So yeah, it's a tough situation, but it really got huge. As you saw, millions of views are going all over Twitter about this. Like all the posts combined together, that millions and millions of views. Pirate Nations is almost 2 million. So, and down here, 3VO has something else. He was like, so what Sony's essentially saying is that they want people to jailbreak their consoles and have full free access to the content that they have paid for without internet access. Great. Homebrew for the win. If they didn't want jailbreaking, they should have made their service Good. Interesting post right there. Buy physical people. Sony has a history of errors making digital purchases unplayable. The PS3 leap year clock bug. This is used a few years ago where people's PSNs were being mass banned. A simple error can wipe out your whole digital library without notice. I get what he's saying, but things are going to be fine. That's why you got the digital license and cloud and all that. Whereas back then, it wasn't really like that. When you have things like that in the cloud, you're going to be fine. There's really nothing to really worry about. But we get the idea here how insane this was. Like I said, you go back all over Twitter, guys, and go back to that aspect. It's like, no, it's really all over. Like you click on this right here. Look how many posts are here. It's 517,000. That's 1.7 million. That's 4.2 million. This is the guy, Lance McDonald. Hugely terrible DRM is now rolled out on all PS4 and PS5 digital games. He's the one that started at 1,100 comments. That was 12 hours ago. See what I mean? This right here already, it's like 6 point something million views. 7 million right there. We're pretty much at 8 million with that. This is how huge it is. So yeah, that's why this is something that needs to be covered so the truth can get out in the wild. It's not something Sony did officially because they would let you know. You know what I mean? Just like something like PSSR 2 is coming out with some firmware update. Everybody's waiting on it. You know what's coming out. You would know if this was around the corner. So let me know what you guys think about this. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment down below as usual. Keep gaming no matter what platform you're on. Stuff gets crazy, but we know how drama is on the internet, right? And we know how people like to just jump the gun crazy. Definitely if you're kind of on another identity platform that you're mad that Sony's probably winning on that, or possibly, you know, in the Xbox realm or the PC realm, it can get like that. We know that. And if something happened over there, it can come from the PlayStation side where they're kind of like probably breaking out with that on Twitter. It happens. We know there's going to be some drama with the Steam machine when that comes out. Get ready for that. Later, y'all.